Welcome back, all our 40k fanatics out there. I am DJ.
And I'm Lane.
And we're here with Tim's Nation to bring you another Warhammer 40k battle report. This one is going to be of the most brutal and competitive nature. Oh, no, wait, that's not what we're doing this week.
It's not. I've had enough competitive. I'm bringing the Imperial agents. Going to try and make them work, see what happens, see how they play.
And my list has way more character than Lane does.
So many more.
Well, you know, you've been saying with these Death Guard lists all the time, you're like, oh my gosh, I have so many characters. I have 8. Psh, 8 characters. I got 19. 19 characters, 21 models, which ironically enough is the most units I've ever played. Right? It is 19 physical units.
It's a lot, yeah.
But yes, Lane, to his word, wanted to at least bring the Imperial agents here one time, and he said, DJ, don't play something. I want to lose so bad. Play something nice. No. Literally, we looked at this thing, and he's like, dude. He's like, I will play this, but be nice to me.
I've played in 2 GTs last month, and then this past weekend in a team tournament, and all a lot of competitive play. And all the games I played, just realizing this Imperial Agent book as a standalone codex will not be able to stand up to any sort of competitive play.
There's probably like a build or 2 in there if we were to really, really dig deep into it. Like, we were looking at some of the units, and there is some stuff that can possibly do it. But at that nature of it too, it falls in the category of like, okay, cool. Here's a list. Here's a list you could play, and it's competitive. And you like it, and then you look at it and go, okay, but now I have to shell out $2,000 to buy all these little models because little dudes and stuff like that. Yeah.
No, there's lots of interesting things and lots of cool things. Like, oh, that's kind of cool. That's kind of neat. That's a neat strat. That's a neat ability. But then, I played against orcs, and the orcs would just plow through the whole thing, just shred it all up. Played against Thousand Suns, so just eat it all alive. There's no way you can stop them. There's no defense to it. And it's not you just don't have any game into a bunch of matchups. So. Yeah, but anyways, we're going to give it a try today. I'm not going to spend the whole
time. We'll be pleasantly surprised.
Not going to spend the whole time talking bad about it, but I'll just show you how it works and show you how it plays.
Yeah. And for me, I'm actually, as I said in my video, which please take a look at it on the channel, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on the bell to get notified on all the content we bring you around the channel. As a video I posted out before this one saying that every army is crazy until it wins a GT. And I firmly believe that. And so we're going crazy, and I'm going to go crazy for a little while because, as I've said multiple times, new babies means I'm not able to travel right now. So the only things I'm able to do are 2 things. Prep Lane for tournaments and try and get a list ready for when I make my return. So now it's a fun time. I get to try all sorts of crazy stuff. So please take a look at that video and comment in that video on maybe some ideas that you guys have had that you want to see out here on the channel. And, you know, especially if it's Necrons, looking at my case, I'm pretty sure I could probably field it. I think I have literally almost every Necron unit to the maximum capacity. Immortals. I need more Immortals. Like 20 more. But regardless of all that, this is one of those crazy concepts. Because we've joked around, you know, this is kind of a throwback a beer and joke with your buddies type list where you're like, how many characters could I put in there? Because technically right now with 40K, I don't have to take Battle Line. Mm-hmm. I don't have to take I don't have to take troops. No fast attacks.
1 character as your warlord.
Exactly. That's the only requirement. And I have 1 character that is my warlord. And, 18 more characters to join them. So this is going to be interesting. Some of my stuff is a little bit fragile. But let's introduce it first, and I'll talk about I want to talk about a couple of the key little tech pieces that I do have with this list. So, Lane, introduce us to the Imperial agents.
All right, so this is an Imperial Agents Army. This is the Imperialis Fleet detachment. It's the Navy. I'm not running the Xenos Hunter. I just think I prefer this detachment a little bit better. Please check out my video where I'll go in the separate army video. I go into all the details of the strats and the detachment abilities. But this is just the list here. So we got the Eversor Assassin, a Navigator. His enhancement is Combat Landers, which lets me deep strike 3 Voidfarer units. I've got 2 Watchmasters, 2 10-man Death Watch kill teams. We've got 2 Rhinos, Imperial Rhinos. These are just my whirlwinds that I pulled the launchers off of. We've got 1 Sisters of Battle Immolator, an old school Immolator here. I've got a 5-man Grey Knight Terminator squad, all metal. None of these are DJ's models. These are my Grey Knight Terminators. I've got a 6-man of Imperial agents. These are just some basic dudes that are going to hang out with the Navigator to try to keep him alive. We got a 10-man Sisters of Battle squad. We've got 3 5-man Voidsmen at Arms squads. I mean, I guess technically 6. It's 5 guys and a dog. And then, of course, we brought in Canis Rex to give this army some kind of hitting power. DJ, what are you bringing today?
All right, here it is. All of it. All 19 units and 21 models. So the reason I say 21 models is because first up we get the Silent King, which is actually 3 models. The King himself and his 2 big old rock cannons. He is a character. And then we have 2 of the Catacomb Command Barges, which also are characters. Leading into it, we're bringing 2 Locust Destroyers, Lords, 3 Scorepack Lords. One of the Scorepack Lord with the Infinity Gauntlet will have the 4-up Feel No Pain. 3 Plasmancers, 2 Hexmark Destroyers, 3 of the Overlords with Tachyon Arrows today. We're bringing the arrow, the one-shot arrow. And then Lane's absolute favorite.
No.
We have Illuminator Xeris.
Stop it.
And 2 Psychomancers.
You know what? I have my own Psychomancer today. The Navigator. He's going to make you take a battle shock test at -2, and then you take 3 mortal wounds if you fail.
I'll just have to show you how you pass a battle shock test. Actually, the Navigator is pretty cool. I looked at him, and I was when at first I looked at his data sheet, I was like, wow, this guy's really cool. I like him a lot because his is -2, and it does mortal wounds on top of it. So I really do like him. He's interesting.
It's only a 12-inch range to do that, so he's got to get kind of close and puts him in dangerous way. But he also has the 12-inch deep strike deny as well,
which is also really, really cool too. So a couple of the things with this list and looking at, I'm playing the Awakened Dynasty, which pretty much means the only stratagem that I can use out of the Awakened Dynasty that's really going to affect my army is one of the biggest ones. 1 command point, bring a character back to life with half wounds remaining. I can do that in any phase. So I can do that in your shooting phase, in your fight phase, in your charge phase if you decide to try to run something over, in my turn if you kill something. And the Overlords can still 0 out a strat once per battle round. So I could do it for free on them. Also, Lane, just cover your ears for this one.
No.
Illuminator Xeris is a character, which means he can come back with half his wounds.
Infantry for some reason.
One of the other neat things, and this is with the Catacomb Command Barges. So the Catacomb Command Barges have an aura that gives an OC boost. It boosts everything's OC by 1. Not sure if that's going to be enough to topple some things, but it's nice to have there. The bigger one is the Resurrection Orb. Resurrection Orb, for these guys, now a Resurrection Orb on an Overlord, I can't use it just to heal himself.
Because he's not leading a unit.
Correct. But the Resurrection Orb on the Catacomb Command Barge targets an infantry unit within range at the end of the phase and hits it for reanimation for D6. So he could hit these infantry units and they could pop and heal them at the end of the phases. So if you shoot, damage one of my Overlords and you're like, okay, I'll finish him in combat, and I go, not so fast, back to full health. Or Illuminator Xeris, who is also infantry, and is blown off when he's within 3 inches of a Necron unit. Doesn't matter that it's characters.
Just other characters protecting him.
I'm pretty sure Illuminator Xeris has a really good chance of not being killed this game.
It's a point of honor to kill him.
He's just going to go after him. He's like, it's like, Lane, you lost. I don't care. Xeris is dead.
I'll commit to killing him once. I don't know if I can kill him twice.
Yeah, he's tough. He's mean. The 2 enhancements that I took, I do have the Veil on one of my Psychomancers. So you can use it. Yep. And then again, like I said, the 1 Scorepack Lord with the Infinity Gauntlet is also going to be rocking a 4-up Feel No Pain. Anything of note with yours, like enhancements of craziness?
Just a bunch of weird stuff.
The
one enhancement I have on the Navigator lets me deep strike 3 Voidfarer units. The Voidfarer units are just the Voidsmen at Arms, or the Imperial Navy Breachers. So I just took 3 Voidsmen units because they're 50 points, just cheap little units that are going to die. But at least I can deep strike them to score secondaries and get places. So it's a cheap little way to have a little bit of play there. We'll see how it plays out today.
Awesome. All right, well, let's get started. Lane, odd or even?
Even.
Oh, no, we're doing this again.
No, we're not.
No, we're not.
There
No,
we
we are
go.
not. We are not. It is even. Lane, do you want to deploy first or second?
I'll have you drop first.
You're going to drop first? All right, then. We'll be back after deployment. There it is. We are deployed. Funny thing is, at this current moment in time, I have, I think, more models on the table than Lane does.
We got a lot of deep striking and transport. So.
At this point in time, my all-character army has more models on the table than Lane.
We'll see how long that lasts.
Very much so. All you have to do is disembark. Lane, what are we doing today?
We are playing the glorious game of Warhammer 40,000. Our primary mission today is supply drop. This is the one where we're going to roll for Alpha and Omega, so that in battle round, at the end of battle round 3, one of the objectives in No Man's Land disappears, and then if we're on 4, another one disappears. And as they disappear, they become more valuable.
And what is the timing on that? I always forget when we actually roll for that. If we do it at the beginning of the first battle round?
It just says start of the battle. Players randomly select 2
okay,
different
so we got to know
markers.
who goes first.
Yeah.
Okay. All righty.
All right, and then our mission rule today is adapt or die. This is one that I haven't seen come up very often, but if you're using fixed missions, then once per game, you can swap out one of your fixed fixed secondary missions for another one. DJ and I are both playing tactical today, so that means we're doing tactical twice per battle. We can take one of the secondary missions we card and pull a third one and shuffle one of them back into the deck. It does have to be shuffled back into the deck, but it's kind of helpful for turn 1. If you pull one that's not great for turn 1, you'll be able to shuffle back in.
And then did you mention we're doing Seek and...
Search and Destroy is our deployment today.
Yep, nice table quarters. Now, real quick, I want to talk about that adapt and die before we go into the deployments. Yes, Lane and I are fully aware, before anyone says it, it would be a prime opportunity for Lane to take Assassinate.
It would?
And then kill 5 of my characters, and then switch off Assassinate to a different secondary, and just try and score 10 on those 2. Yes, that would be a way for Lane to run up the scoreboard and absolutely crush me. But that wouldn't typically be how it is. The reason we specifically took this is because both of us are running super, super test lists that we're not anticipating to do very, very well competitively. Crazy concepts and a new weird army. So this just gives us the opportunity to look at a third secondary card and decide what we're going to do so we can have a better, more competitive scoring game. So that's kind of why we did this one. And it's something I recommend. When you're playing games with your buddies, you don't have to draw random every time. Draw what makes sense and draw what sounds fun. All right, deployment. There's my army. Which actually looks like more of an army until you get up really, really, really close and realize there's like 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, 10, 11, 12 models over there. That's just 12 models. A unit is 12 models. And then you have the score pack over there, Xeris there. Basically, we separated the Catacomb command barges to bring those orbs on both sides for what may happen. Separated the score packs just so we're able to have, like, kind of just put the combat units in multiple different zones, but still had the shooting, more firepower characters able to try to get into some lanes that we can possibly pick up. I could have went over here and tried to go into that center with the firing lane, but it seems really dangerous with this piece of terrain. The lane can just move to the other side of it, not touch it, and then crash through. So decided to go over more towards center, felt it was a bit safer, and then Score Pack and Psychomancer back here holding home field. This is the Psycho who can Veil. All right. Can you tell I'm excited about this list? I'm talking a lot about it. Oh, man. All right, Lane, talk to me.
All right, Imperial Agents. So our centerpiece, of course, is the lovely Canis Rex. Hopefully he gets to smash many, many Necrons today. We've got Sisters Immolator with half a Sister Squad in there, with the Meltas in there. It's Twin Link Meltas. We've got 2 Rhinos with the 10-man Death Watch veteran squads and the Watchmasters. And today's game, they're going to get a little power boost because they reroll all hits into Xenos, And there's Xenos all over the place. We've got a little 5-man sister squad right here. Just ready to scooch out, maybe do something on objective, just with bolters. We do have the Imperial agents here. That's what it used to be called, the henchmen. It's 5 guys plus a servitor with a multi-melta. And then back here, I forgot to mention in my army video, but the Imperial Navigator is being played by the classic Uriah Jacobs model today. So that's my Imperial Navigator standing back there by himself.
10, 11, 12, 13, 14. You have 15 models on the table.
Yeah. And
to my 19.
Yeah. So I've got all the Death Watch vets and the tanks. We've got 3 5-mans of the Voidsman at Arms in Deep Strike. And then, of course, the 5-man Grey Knight Terminator in Deep Strike, too.
All right. And I think that's really about it. Oh, no other real question. Oh, one question I did have personally.
Yeah.
Does Canis Rex have a top mount gun?
No.
He does not?
No, he's got his big gun,
Really?
and then he's got a multi-laser.
I know he's got the big guns. I know he's got crazy, and he's sustained 5 up all the time.
Yeah, sustained 5 up, shooting and fighting, all his weapons.
That's pretty big. And yeah, if he gets over... The Silent King is really not suited to take out Canis Rex. He'll do really well into like your Death Watch kill teams and stuff like that, pending he's not in combat. If he can stay back and hit those things, he can hurt them. If Canis Rex gets into his face, he does not stand a chance against him, and Rex will absolutely punch him into oblivion. So
that's
we're gonna try and not let that happen. That's pretty much going to be the name of the game. King, we're playing tag. You're it. I have to make it away from you. All right. Oh, looks like you will be going first. Were you wanting to go first in this? I forgot to ask.
I don't think it really matters.
Yeah, it's kind of tough to say. All right, Lane. It's time to play the game.
Turn 1, I pulled Sabotage and Extend Battle Lines. Cool. That's pretty good turn 1 pull. Didn't even have to cycle one out using the mission rule. So I had pregame or scout moved my Eversor Assassin, and then I moved him here. So he's in this train that's outside my deployment zones. He's going to sabotage there. Girls scooched forward. Canis Rex came up so he could shoot down this little alleyway and maybe score a Psychomancer. That'd be a great way to start this game. This Sister's Immolator advanced to get over here on the objective, and then my Inquisitorial agents are here in the middle where they will live forever and ever. I'm going to do a little bit of shooting.
I hate when you say that because those units end up living too long.
They do end up living longer than they should. And then, yeah, so Canis Rex is going to blast a little bit, see if he can pick up a Psychomancer. Canis Rex shot downtown into the Psychomancer. We hate us a Psychomancer. Canis Rex, he had to use his low-intensity profile because it has a 36-inch range. His high intensity is only 24. It's 2d6 shots. I rolled 2 1s, but once per turn, Canis gets a free strat. I can only use core strats because he's not in the Imperial Knights detachment. So I used the command reroll, and because there was a single roll for the number of shots, I got to reroll both dice. Got 8. Ended up with like 10 hits thanks to the sustained. We did kill the Psychomancer in the shooting. However, DJ spent the CP to bring him back. So the Psychomancer has returned. Guys, that just means that I get to kill Psychomancers multiple times this game. On to DJ's turn. Oh, I scored 5 for Extend Battle Lines, and then Sabotage should, I don't think DJ can stop that, so it should complete at the end of his turn.
Looks like a turn for Extend Battle Lines as well as Mark for Death. So Lane has said he's going to mark for death this squad right here.
No.
This Immolate. No.
Drop it.
He is taking the character all the way back here that there's absolutely no way I can reach right now. As well as, right over here. Eversor, who has blown up, so I can't hit him. And Canis Rex. So, we're going after Canis Rex.
No, my baby.
Because we're in a position right now that it's basically do or die. Because if I do not, Silent King will probably die. So we're going to try and hit him. We moved some destroyers up here to kind of charge on subjective to get us Extend Battle Lines and just get rid of those guys and get a center presence. And then we moved all 3 Plasmancers in range for mortal wound damage. We have 2 Overlords over here to throw Tachyon arrows. And a 3rd one over here. He won't get the reroll once. But we do have that free CP reroll. We could use that free strat for the battle round on him if we wish, since we haven't used that this round. And then, yeah, Mr. Silent King got his big beam. So we got a lot that we're putting into him. He doesn't have the Feel No Pain because it's not the Knight's attachment. Fingers crossed. And then over here, we just position ourselves so that if we do happen to get lucky and take Rex down early, we can start to put work over onto this objective with some shots from the Catacomb, since these are shooting Catacomb barges, and Xeris. Oh, and Psychomancer ran away with the spoon because he needs to heal and he's hurt, and he's like, oh, whoa, guys, let's calm down here.
He's already died once.
All right, time to shoot. Just call me Houdini as I made that knight disappear.
So sad.
It was definitely, it wasn't hot dice. It was overwhelming number of shots. It was literally everything that I possibly could have put into him. And like I said, he had to go, or if I didn't kill him, it was GG. Silent King was actually the one to do him in too, as I talk all the crap that the Silent King would have nothing to do with Canis Rex. Both of the rocks said, excuse me, hold my beer, let's do 12 damage.
Well, you did Mortals first with the Plasmancers.
So first we did all 3 Plasmancers, and they all rolled their Mortal Wound ability, and I was perfectly on odds. 1, 3, and 2. So we were able to do 6 Mortal Wounds to start off there. Then we shot with their staves into the sisters here. We were able to pick them up with 2 of those guys. And then you have the Overlords. We threw the Tachyon arrow. We threw all 3 Tachyon arrows. We were able to get 1 to go through. And then Lane just decided to do a free reroll with Canis Rex and stopped Canis Rex from taking that D6 plus 2 damage. So all 3 of my Tesseract arrows failed. But these bad boys hit home and just, were they good. And then the Silent King shot all the rest of his shots, and eventually, poof, the knight was gone. So let us, at the end of the turn, take these 2 guys and shoot over here and do, I think, 1 damage. Maybe
No, I'm down to 4.
Oh, you're down to 4?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, we hit him a lot harder than I expected. Yeah. So that's it for this. That was just with these 2. Wow, I hit him a lot harder than I thought I actually did. I thought you saved a lot more on him. How many wounds does he start with?
11.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, we got some charges right up here. These guys are going to charge over into here. We're going to try to take this objective. Oh, by the way, we forgot to mention about this, something Imperial agents do. Lane, talk about that little marker and what that means real quick.
Yeah, so the Imperialis fleet, the Navy ability, I either pick, in my command phase, I pick 1 of my enemy units, and the whole army gets +1 to hit against it, or I pick an objective, and when I'm on that objective, I get +1 OC, +1 leadership, and a 5-up invuln. So because nobody, other than Canis Rex, nobody had any shots anywhere, I just decided to put this objective, just to give these guys a 5-up invuln. I'm pretty sure they're still going to get wrecked anyways, but they might last a little bit longer, take a little more effort. DJ might have to charge a couple.
Yeah, I don't have a bunch of attacks, so that is a positive. But all right, let's do some charging. So this was interesting, and we'll talk about why that 5 and that 6 are there. So we charged. This score pack lower zone had failed. I decided not to spend the CP to try and re-roll it, because one of the things that's interesting with this army, when you go to charge, you get a lot of charge rolls. Because I had to roll for all of these units. And I even tried with the Psychomancer, he failed too. But we stuck it with 2 of the Overlords. We got an 11 for 1 and a 9 for the other. Scorepack Lord charged, and the Locust got an, obviously. So after we complete our charge, the first thing we have to do is hit with the Scorepack Lord and do his impact damage. That's where we rolled a 6. Then we decide how many. That's where we rolled a 5. So we did 6 mortal wounds on the impact. Okay, that was the unit. So that ends the turn. We get extend battle lines for 5, and we got our mark for death target, and that's going to end the turn. I'm smiling right now, but I do have 5 characters at center field. So, and Lane's not happy with me. All right, pass it over to Imperial agents. Weird saying that.
So this turn we are establishing locus and recovering assets. Lone ops are super handy here, so this Eversword is going to be recovering assets here. Sir Hector.
Hold on, I have to interrupt you.
We forgot about scoring.
There was something important. So last turn, I actually did not score Mark for Death yet because Hector is alive.
Sir Hector lives.
Even though Canis Rex data sheet is destroyed, it specifically states on Canis Rex data sheet that Canis Rex is not considered destroyed if Hector is still alive. So unfortunately, I have not scored the 5. I did elect to keep it because I wanted to scare Lane into moving his Eversor away from me, since he's anti-infantry galore. So I did keep it, but I am down 5 from that first turn. Back to you, Lane.
Okay. So, anyways, he's going to establish or recover assets outside my deployment zone. He's going to establish, because he is the lone op, Sir Hector's lone op, he's going to recover assets here inside. And then I deep struck 1 unit of Voidsman at Arms with the Chainsaw Wizard that's playing the doggo. And they are going to establish locus in DJ's deployment zone. Other than that, Deathwatch are angry about their codex being eliminated, so now they're going to try to wreck as much in the middle of the table as they can to avoid the slapback. The sisters are going to try to shoot this Catacomb Command Barge. I did mark him as my +1 to hit, so Deathwatch are going to re-roll all hits anyways into Xenos, so the girls are going to get +1 to hit against the Catacomb Command Barge and hopefully cook it a little bit. All right, I'm going to do some shoots. All right. Despite the fact that we're re-rolling all wounds, we didn't do that much here. We did get, the sisters did pretty well here. Into the Catacomb Command Barge, we had +1 to hit. And so just the sister squad, with their multi-melta and melta range, were able to pick him up. The multi-melta and melta gun did it. Because they have a cherub in Agency of the Imperium, their cherub on their unit lets them do a free reroll once per game, and so I did use that reroll and make sure all my meltas worked, and we were able to pick up the Catacomb Command Barge. We did a little bit of shooting here and some grenades to pick up the what?
One of the Locust Lord.
Locust Lord, yep. And then both of these Deathwatch kill teams shot all their frag cannons, all their flamers into this Overlord and did 4 wounds to him, so he's still alive on 1. Too bad I cannot tank shock with my little Space Marine bodies. Okay, that's that. Didn't kill as much in shooting as I'd like to, but these are all basically Terminator profiles. Everybody's got a 2-up save, and everything in this army is AP1. So we're going to charge in here and see if we can do some work. Bonk a clock. Well, the good news is we did successfully bonk. So this squad picked up the 2 Overlords. DJ did spend the CP to reanimate this Overlord, so he did bot back at the end of the phase.
Actually, I did not. I used the free strat. It's 1 CP, and I did it for free. So I can't do a free battle round strat. That was my free battle round strat, was on him to bring him back to save me a CP for later in the turn, which didn't keep the score pack load around.
Yeah, and then we these guys, there's a 2 CP strat called Violent Acquisition, where I get, and when I use it in the fight phase, I get +1, I get sustained, and I get lance on the whole unit. So I use that, and I did pick up both of those models there. Thunderhammers bonk pretty hard. It's a good thing I'm playing against Xenos, because I get the full rerolls to hit. Definitely helped quite a bit. So we picked up all those guys, and that was it. So I did get some killing in the middle of the table here. Shot DJ out on primaries, but of course I'm going to get slapped back real hard. And that's it. So I scored established locus with these brave boys over here, and we're continuing to recover assets there. And on to DJ's turn.
Adding to mark to death, we're going for no prisoners, so we got a kill in turn. So we got to try and clear these Deathwatch out of middle. Move the Silent King over here. He has his artillery shots that can go into there, and then also try and put his cannons at the Rhino. Good target for that, just so we can try and get rid of that thing. If we do, it opens up some of the table and takes away one of Lane's secondary scoring action objective assets. The Overlord, who stood back up, is at 4 wounds, sadly. That's where he is. Well, it is what it is. And then we moved out the Catacomb. We did not move either one of these, so they didn't get overwatched. Same with the Plasmancers, because we have a lot that we can put into here from them to try and shoot and try and remove some before we have to charge in ultimately. Over here, Xeris moved, and he's going to try and shoot these guys, just clear them out of here. And the Scorpex Lord is moving in position, so if Lane tries to do that again, I have something else that can answer over there as well. All right. Oh, and then last but surely not least, we did deep strike both of our Hexmark destroyers. We're going to see how they can do at trying to take on this Eversor Assassin. They have very interesting guns and the ability to free Overwatch. So, all right, let's do some shooting. Hexmarks did well and were able to pick up the Eversor, so now I will get my 5 for Mark for Death. Silent King, well, he did good into Canis Rex and then completely whiffed at the butt of the Rhino, which I'll take it. If I got to pick between which time I'm going to hit and which time I'm going to miss, we'll take that. Even with the reroll once, still was managed to not even wound it with 1 hit. His artillery went over here. So what happened was I shot with one of the Plasmancers. And I shot at this unit that was here, hanging out here. My plan was I was going to hit them as hard as I could. And then Lane used a little strat, and I'll let him talk about it. Now he's got it up.
Imperialis fleet has a strat called Displacer Field. So in my opponent's shooting phase, after he's selected a target, it has to be an Agents of the Imperium character unit. So it has to be a unit led by a character. They get a 4-up invuln for the rest of the phase, but also after that first unit shoots them, they can move 6 inches. So I moved them back here to avoid being shot by the rest of their stuff. Didn't really matter. Silent King just picked them a bunch more.
Silent King did well with his artillery, even at -1 to hit, and the cover. He did still put enough damage through to actually hit pretty hard. So we're down to just a handful of dudes. I think 2 guys in the Watchmaster. And these guys got battle shocked by Lane's best friend, the Psychomancer. So these guys were battle shocked and couldn't take that strat. And so I kind of left them alone so I could charge into them. Shot at them a little bit and just hit them with some stuff. The Catacomb command. Oh, no, Catacomb went over there too. Catacomb drew line of sight to them and hit them. But now we got the Score Pack Lord. We got the Catacomb, the Overlord that's alive, able to charge over into here. And then over here, I think we might try and charge Xeris into these guys over here. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Charging over here means we're going to get threatened to one weapon I really don't want to face into. And then that might make me bite my tongue on Xeris dying. So, all right, that's about it. Let's do some charges and call it a turn. Although Xeris was unsuccessful in his charge over here, we did work over here. So we successfully charged with the Catacomb and the Score Pack Lord and the Overlord. And we spent a command point to tank shock to do mortal wounds. And then we had the impact mortal wounds. We did good damage to get rid of some of those hammers before anything even went down. And since the unit was battle shock, we didn't have to worry about any crazy Death Watch hocus pocus. And then just picked up the entire squad, leaving the Watchmaster there with just 1 wound remaining. So for no prisoners, we were able to kill 2 units. One was this, as well as the Eversor Assassin over here. So it gave us a 9 on secondaries, and that is going to call it the turn. We're going to hand it over to Lane and see what he can do to answer back.
All right, so we pulled Assassination and Secure No Man's Land. So I'm going to try and secure this No Man's Land. I've already got this one. And then, yeah, I'm going to try and kill some guys. So I brought in Grey Knight Terminators here. I brought forward the, what's his face? The Navigator. He's going to try to do some magic on him and give him some mortals. We just pushed everything to the middle here. We're going to try to kill stuff and take this objective. And then immediately die afterwards. So I'm going to do a little bit of shooting and we'll see how it goes. Fun bit of business here. The Navigator did his thing. Made the Overlord fail his battle shock, and he had to take 3 mortal wounds. And then wasn't able to shoot him, but we did pick up the Catacomb Command Barge with the Immolator and its twin-length multi-meltas. And when the Command Barge died, he did explode for 1 and finish off the Overlord.
You're welcome.
Everybody took a mortal around here.
Don't say I never did anything for you.
And that's that. It's now we're going to do a little bit of charging. We forgot that this Psychomancer over here had 1 wound left.
Sorry, Plasmancer. I said it wrong. Plasmancer.
Something Mancer. He's just some kind of Mancer, guys. He would have gotten picked up. He had 1 wound left, and he would have gotten picked up from the explosion as well. My command barge, so that happened. And then we charged in here, and Death Watch, every Thunderhammers did their thing. Bonk, bonk, bonk. Picked up the Scorpion Lord. He's dead and gone forever, and DJ's not allowed to bring him back. Oh, no, here he is.
Bonk.
1 CP, he's back in action. Well, not in action this turn because he has to come back out of engagement range, so he doesn't get to fight me. But I'm pretty sure his army can pick up those 3 guys. So I did score pretty well. 5 for Assassinate, 5 for Secure No Man's Land, and holding DJ to 5 on primary. So on to his turn.
couple things are going to happen this turn. So we're looking at overwhelming force and secure no man's land. Lane is all on board, and I did pop the veil at the end of Lane's turn to pick up. So now nobody's on this home field objective marker. Didn't need it for points. I just didn't want Lane coming in my backfield. I wanted to keep the game where I wanted it, in front where my invulns were and all my tough units. Now that we're on the field, we can start running up. So Xeris moved up, Scorpack Lord advanced, Overlord advanced. Over here, didn't move, sat still. Moved up the Psychomancer, moved up the Silent King, and then fanned out in the back. We're more than 12 inches. We are more than 17 inches away from the Terminators with both the Plasmancers and the the Hex Marks. So, and I have to fix one of the Plasmancers actually a little bit, but yeah, we're out of 17 inches. We're way out of 17, so the Terminators at least cannot get a charge onto us next turn because they would not be able to move within 12 inches. So they won't be able to charge those guys. Drop the Psychomancer in that I picked up over here so he can play some late game secondaries, and he's going to be a jerk and try and battle shock the Terminators for no reason except because I can. All right, let's do some shooting. All right, so scan across real quick, talk about what happened, move to the fight phase, and start wrapping this one up. I think the characters have shown their class. So Xeris was unable to finish off the last dude over here, advanced, so couldn't shoot with any of these guys. Last sister over there. Because the Silent King just blasted them to oblivion. And then, oh man, so Plasmancers were able to finish off both. Well, we're able to really do damage to get these two transports to be finished off. And then the Scorpack Lord was able to hit home with rapid fire to take out one of them. Cleared out the squad with just some stray shooting because one of these rocks was not able to get quite onto the Rhino. So yeah, it was a lot of just stray shooting in random directions that was able to finish off. The two vehicles were already damaged, so I just needed to actually push through a little more. And yeah, that's going to be it. So we're going to do some charges and wrap up the turn. And we were successful in picking up the Watchmaster, which is the second, third unit killed on an objective marker for overwhelming force. So we got 5 points there. And we did secure no man's land successfully. That objective marker at center is going to vanish, giving us a little bit of a boost on primary, but that's going to be the turn. I did get a 10 on secondary. We're going to kick it over to Lane and the Imperial agents.
So we got containment and area denial. So we got these brave little boys going to contain here within 9 inches of that table edge. These brave little boys and their doggo are going to contain here within 9 inches of this table edge. These guys might take a few shots down here and see if we can do anything. And then we're just going to try and kill these critters in the middle. They're both died already, so they cannot come back a second time. And you know what? Maybe we'll try to kill the Silent King, which I don't really think will happen, but we'll have some fun with it. On to my shooting. So, the Navigator, played by Uri Jacobus, made the Psychomancer take a battle shock. The Psychomancer failed a battle shock and had to take 3 mortal wounds. Which took him down to 1, and then we picked him up with some... was Bolter Fire from the Rhino?
No, it was these guys. It was
right. Oh, yeah.
Don't let them not have their moment.
The Voiceman Lasguns did 2 wounds to him, and then he failed
them both.
Yeah, we did a couple things to the Scorpack Lord, not really the 2 wounds. Threw grenades, and Terminator shot at him, but it's just the 2 wounds after the field of pains and everything. So
Scorpacks be tough.
It's time to fight. It's time to fight. So here we go. We're going to throw... Yeah, we're just gonna go fight. Okay, charging.
Looks like the battle was just a little too intense and we lost the video footage, so I'll just give you a recap on what happened in the fight phase. Lane charged in with the Rhino, the Watchmaster, a single sister of battle, and the Navigator, of which the Watchmaster and sister were slain. Scorpack Lord lived. And the Grey Knight Terminators charged in and were able to take down 1 rock, but took heavy casualties in response. So that was about it for the fight phase this turn.
All right, so we're looking at containment and sabotage. So we took the Psychomancer over here. He's going to sabotage in the deployment zone for full points. And then we move the hex marks in position, so now we can do these 2 table quarters, this one here, and this one here. I'm sorry, table edges for containment. And then the rest of it, as you can see, we're just kind of moving forward to try and clear everything off in position with a couple of fights and some shooting. You know, Xeris and Scorpack Lord are up there. So let's see if we can clear everything out of here. All right, let's do some shooting. And this is pretty much going to be the game. We got one more where we're going to talk about the last turn and what happened in there. But at the bottom of 4, Lane has been removed from the field. The only things that remain...
Sir Hector.
Sir Hector.
And 4 Voidsmen at Arms.
Yes. Basically, in my turn, we did some shooting. We were able to shoot down the Rhino wholeheartedly. And then in the fight phase, we finished off the Terminators, as well as finishing off the last of the whatever the dude that was doing. Oh my gosh, I can't remember his name. What was his name over here in the center?
The Navigator?
The Navigator.
Yeah.
Then we charged over here, finished those off. We did hit artillery on some guys, and yeah, that was it. So we were able to we will score our sabotage and containment, and we're going to figure out turn 5. All right, so turn 5, we just put it all together because, well, that's kind of how the game goes sometimes when you get to that point. So Lane had defend stronghold and engage. What was the other one? Engage, I believe. And it really, the secondaries that he pulled for the last round, he was not able to score. And so passed over to me where I got behind enemy lines and assassinate. So we went for it and we moved the Psychomancer. And remember, the Psychomancer has a strength 7, AP 3, flat 3 damage, or maybe strength 6. Either way, Hector is toughness 3.
Okay, he shot at me.
Shot.
Got a wound. AP 3, but I got cover. I failed to save. I re-rolled the save into a successful 6-up save, and then he made the 9-inch charge and killed him.
And then he made the 9-inch charge and killed him. A Psycho in combat. Lane's favorite unit.
I hate those guys.
Everything else was just kind of boilerplate, just to get everything to where it needed to be to score things. Again, like I said, I was able to get the assassinate and then the one behind enemy lines to bring us to a final score. Necron all character build 78 to an Imperial Agents 50. Wow, character. This is interesting. I really kind of want to see this into a real unit. A real army and see if I can have some similar results. All right, follow us over to the post game where we'll hear Lane's talk about the Imperial Agents.
Lane's lament.